So guys, amid hunger and hardship Nigerians have got to battle with, the Senate president was seen to have spent so much money in transporting people to and fro to the stadium in Akwa Ibom State in order to celebrate his 61st birthday. There have been this outcry out there. Nigerians are saying, what kind of madness is this? As in bringing all these people to the stadium when so many of them cannot even afford 3 square meals. The Senate president deemed it important at such a time like this to bring all these people to a stadium just for him to celebrate his 61st birthday. So many people have thrown out questions out there asking if this is the people's money or was the money used for this from his personal pocket. Honestly, you need to see what happened during this occasion. The insensitivity in our leaders is becoming very alarming. Take a look at this.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, along with other politicians and senators, congratulated Senate President Rufai Oseni, who marked his 61st birthday in grand style at the Rufai Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. In a now viral video, the Senate President was seen arriving at the 30,000 capacity stadium and was received by over 100 senators, including the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, state governors and their wives, and thousands of well-wishers. Well, let's take a look.
So Nigerians, you have seen how your money is being spent. We all know that some of these people did not even participate in primaries during the Senate election, but they fought their way through to be in this position. This is one of the reasons, because there's a lot of money to lay hold on, as in you can see it happening.
This person wrote, "Our politicians are the most insensitive people on planet Earth. They exploit the benignity of Nigerians to do as they like. Imagine your Senate President, Rufai Akpabio, celebrating his 61st birthday party so extravagantly in the midst of an unprecedented despondency of citizens that private jets have been provided to fly guests to and fro Uyo from Abuja to Lagos. One would have expected a low-key celebration and even a selfless advice to invitees to donate to a particular charity of his choice instead of this unnecessary jamboree. After all, it is not a landmark anniversary. Welcome to APC's Nigeria, where anyhowness reigns." I mean, this guy says anyhowness reigns. Over to you. I know you're in shock.
Oji, I'm in shock.
Yeah.
You see my first reaction when I saw it. What kind of country have we become, Oji? And you talk, they say you're emotional, you're sensitive. For a 61st birthday, not a milestone year. Even if it's a milestone year, a country where over 100 million people live in multidimensional poverty. CBN has just said now to import now, the dollar equivalent is 952. What it means, that cost of car has gone up. You remember the Fela song of a Nigerian saving money to be able to buy this ceiling fan, and the price keeps going on because of inflation. Nigerians are there today at a time where there's a lot of pain, killings all over the country. Anyway, kudos to the senators for putting their December salary towards that in Kaduna. But at a time where there's a lot of suffering and avarice, then you are running around the stadium and you've packed people full. The Senate president should please tell Nigeria how much that birthday party cost him. This is the same Senate president that was former minister of Niger Delta, that under him we had a fainting spell of Professor Ponde. Until date, they've not been able to tell us what happened in the Niger Delta ministry. He should please tell us how much he spent for the logistics of bringing those thousands of people in the stadium and how much they were paid. There are many things we need to learn. This is way too extravagant.
Yeah.
And people that advised him on this advised him wrongly. I had to call somebody in the state. They said, oh, he wanted to come and show it and assert himself politically.
Oh, to assert himself politically?
Yes.
I thought it was to share his
No, there was a political implication to it.
To assert
that he was to
himself.
assert himself. That's why he should tell us. Is he preparing for 2027 or after that? Well, because you see, when we see politicians run, you remember the case of Amechi and his declaration. That was why he packed out the stadium to at the time people, they should tell us.
More is expected of him, because to whom much is given, much is expected. And so, despite the fact that he could argue that he has a right to spend his birthday and his personal funds whichever way he likes, you would then also ask the question as to how in touch with reality are our leaders. And I keep talking about this, that it almost feels as if, and it seems like it's okay for there to be such a lavish display of wealth when a lot of people are languishing in penury. If you look at the status of people, his people in Akwa Ibom State, how many people can afford 3 square meals? How many people can afford to send their children to school? How many people can afford the inflated transportation costs as a result of policies by this government that he's in? Also, optics don't look too good as well when, I mean, the wife of the president was there, Senator Tinubu, who's been a bit quiet, and she praised him, looked at his antecedents in government. It does, because we keep talking about this is a rubber stamp assembly. When there's such a chummy relationship between the executive and the legislature, it raises eyebrows. Yes, you might say that they are personal friends, they can choose their friends however they like, but it raises eyebrows. It does raise eyebrows, and then you would begin to wonder if truly he can be independent and fair in terms of checking the executive. Finally, coming back down to guys.
Well, in another development, following reports of at least 5 multinational companies, including Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and JSK PLC, winding down operations in Nigeria over challenges in ease of doing business, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a statement last week, assured other multinational companies that his administration is determined to remove all bottlenecks to the smooth running of their businesses. The president made the statement while receiving a delegation of the management of Shell Group, stating that his administration is very focused in resolving all investment-related issues and is determined towards making Nigeria the African haven for land-scale investment in all key sectors. Well,
a country that people can barely afford water to drink, food to eat, you are having the Senate president of that country packing full a stadium to celebrate a 61st birthday. Then people are beginning to look and say, what's going on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
You will have thought that there should be a certain level of sensitivity.
We had the discussion of these pharmaceutical companies leaving the country.
That one is another, and it's a very good conversation.
Yeah.
Let me broach that conversation, because, you see, I see a lot of spin doctors trying to spin narrative. Some people even brought up some new company that was set up, $50 million facility. We welcome every form of investment. Pocari sweat or thereabout. But when you have big giants like P&G and the likes leaving, then as a country, you should look inward and know that there's a problem. Because you see, your consumer goods sector is the bellwether for any economy if it's doing well or not. The companies that are leaving were companies that are invested heavily. Look at PZ, for instance. PZ had been here before Nigeria was formed. Had been trading across the West African coast 1899 thereabouts. Nigeria came into being after the amalgamation in 1914 of the Northern and Southern Protectorate and Lagos Colony. They've been here. But now they are leaving because of the problems of the economy. And everybody keeps talking about one thing, Forex and other challenges. Look at GSK. These were companies that are not quite long. I mean, I think PZ invested close to $300 million in a plant. It never took up because of the economic malaise, because of Forex problems. So when you are having those things, and that's why it's best for President Tinubu to also look at how to keep the internal investors that are here. Because you see, the foreign investors you are going to talk to are looking at their numbers and they know more than you. Don't be delusional. They are asking, what are the factors? What is making GSK leave? Can we survive? So those are the things, and that's why people are leaving. Look at when Dunlop and Michelin left. Till today, Nigeria has not recovered from it. That's why we now buy substandard, fairly used tires. When Michelin left, the Port Harcourt factory, you know how many jobs were lost? Thousands of jobs. So just even look at us in the television sector. Till today, you don't see Dunlop advertisement on TV again, Michelin.
Yeah.
If for what is what, even if it's 5 or 10 million naira,
that's true.
We will have been gaining from that money. So
I remember
all
the
of these
Dunlop
people,
ads on
yeah, Dunlop elite tubeless na baba, jiggy jiggy boah, Dunlop elite tubeless na baba.
Yes, I remember
so
those.
everybody is losing in the economy, and that's why people are leaving.
Right, right. Well, Ayo, it's good that the president has assured multinationals, but you know, it's about, assuring is great.
Yeah.
What are the steps at this point?
I think we should actually ban the word assure. I assure you. I think it's traumatic. It is a PTSD from that word. But you know, going on to absolutely, the president is the chief image officer of Nigeria. He's the chief investment officer of Nigeria. He's our first spokesperson, and so he ought to be saying these things. But like you mentioned, Oji, talk is cheap. The most important thing is the actions.
Yes.
And unfortunately, despite, like you mentioned, Rufai, spinning and trying to position rightly, if you don't take the necessary steps required to keep those companies, you will not attract foreign investment. We've talked about the issues of security. They are clear. Many people have written articles about this. A lot of economists have talked about the importance. We have to look at security. We talk about tax rates. We looked at a number of issues. You know, ease of doing business in Nigeria, corruption, levels of corruption, just so many areas. And it almost seems to anyone looking at it, these are quick wins, and any government who has the political will can actually sort the problem. But it doesn't seem as if anyone has done that so far. In the last few years, very sad, the loss of income, investment, the jobs for our young people and even older people who lose jobs, who lose opportunities as a result of these companies leaving, and a lack of, attraction of foreign investment. And beyond that, I wanted to talk about the jackpot syndrome. What Bishop Matthew Hassan Cook has said, he's never shy away. He's never shy from speaking, making controversial statements. However, one area we don't look at is the cost of jackpots in the Nigerian economy. Beyond the economy, is even looking at family life. The number of families have disintegrated as a result of long distance living. And actually, if you interview a number of Nigerians who are currently abroad, many of them will tell you they'd rather be home. Many of them are suffering from depression. Many of them health conditions. But they won't say these things. The only pictures they post.
So guys, you've seen the kind of country we have today in Nigeria. Honestly, these people just force their way into all this position. They don't even know what to do for Nigeria. They don't know what to do for the people. And you can see it playing out. The president is begging businesses not to leave Nigeria. It's not a matter of begging. People will not want to incur losses, because they want to please you and stay back. Create an environment for businesses to strive. Create an environment for businesses to stay, but they are not paying attention to that. We've seen them living flamboyant life. Tomorrow now we'll go to start begging for money, begging for loan, begging countries that their ministers ride on bike to go to work. We will beg them for money when our own ministers are living big people's lives. I just pray that these organizations will get to know the kind of lifestyle our politicians are living, so that each time they go to ask for loan, they will tell them capital no. If they can't come home and become creative and start helping Nigeria to start generating money internally, let them just go and sit down. So you have seen it. The Senate president, how he celebrated his 61st birthday amid hunger and hardship amongst Nigerians, and you have seen the president begging companies not to leave. I don't even think those companies are going to listen to him. They are just trying to see if tomorrow will be better. If tomorrow is not better, they will leave, and that is just it. So guys, that is the Nigeria of today. And let me know what you think about all this happening in the country. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and let's see in the next video. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.